Good morning, Soul Circle. Oh, it is a glorious day today, isn't it? I'm Steven.
I'm Candice, and we're from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, here in Toronto, Canada. We want to start our day as per usual with showing some gratitude and giving thanks to all the people who are commenting, leaving DMs and messages, and reaching out to us, and just tuning in every morning or tuning in when you can and spending some time living that high vibe life, living with intention, and following us along our journey as we do the same. So thank you, and I hope your June has been extra sparkly doing this every morning with us.
Yeah, it has been really nice, even for Candice and I to sit here and hold space with you every morning. And it's always awesome to see, oh, good morning. Happy new moon, MJ. It is a new moon, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I love when people just like sprinkle in exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I want to give a big shout out to MJ. Thanks for being here. It's nice to see your face in the morning, spend some time. So before we get on to today's topic, I just wanted to take a moment and talk about what we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about having a more intentional morning. We were talking about a lot about the dark moon and what that meant. Let's talk about that dark moon. It usually takes place right before the new moon, which is today. And what we were saying yesterday, it's a very restful, healing time, right? It's a very nice time to just sit in space and allow yourself to heal up a little bit. So I woke up this morning for the eclipse to look at what was going on there, which I'll get to in just a moment. But let me tell you, this dark moon has me pinned down. It was like yesterday, I think I went to bed at like 8:30 last night, and I probably slept a solid 12 hours. So my rest mode is in full effect right now. How about you, Candice? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty tired. I went to bed a little bit later. I just had some things that I didn't get to do for myself earlier in the evening. And then I found myself kind of staying up a little bit later than I normally would. I'm just trying to do those things for myself. Nothing like work or anything, just doing some of my reading, doing my personal stuff. So ended up being a little bit of a late night. I was definitely not waking up to see the solar eclipse or anything. Not this round for me. But yeah, I had to take a long shower this morning to kind of like wake up a bit. So definitely feeling a little bit slower, a little bit more wishing that I had more time in my bed.
But I think we will actually feel a huge shift and change in the energy today because it is new moon. Everything is changing. Everything's feel exciting. I wanted to talk about that a little bit today because this shift is actually very exciting. So before we get off yesterday and what we were practicing yesterday, we did a little bit of chakra balancing yesterday, and we worked through each of the chakras, took a nice deep breath, which is a really nice way to balance yourself in the morning. What our plan is for next week, Soul Circle, is we're going to spend one day talking about the energy inside each of the chakras. We're going to do a little bit of some different yoga and stretching for those some mornings. We're going to do a little sound bath every morning for one of the chakras. And by the end of the 7 days, the following 7 days, we're hoping that you can have a nice morning practice, that you can just take a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to yourself in the morning before the whole world comes into your field. You're setting your own mind space and your own body temple up for success. So just so you guys know, that is where we're planning on heading next week. We're really excited. Candice and I did a whole series on the chakras if you're into that. Working on your chakras and healing. We did that. What was that, in March and April, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent like 2 months deep diving. It was really great for that. So be sure to go check that out. Okay, so let's talk about new moon. What is a new moon? So if this is your first time joining Arcana, or you're new to what we do, we go live every single new moon together. And new moon is your time of new beginnings. So if you have ever celebrated a new moon, you know that it is time to set intentions for the next 28-day cycle. It's a great time to do a little bit of gratitude and look back at what took place over the last cycle and see what systems you need to work with, what you need to implore in yourself so that you can get ready to take action over the course of the next waxing phase, which is the 14 days that follow the new moon. So in any new moon work, what ends up happening is we end up working with different herbs that are sacred to the sign that the new moon is in. So we are in Gemini new moon. So if you're a brand new moon baby, what happens is the new moon takes place about every 28 days, 29 days, about that, and it moves through the different signs of the zodiac. So if we are in sun sign Gemini time and the new moon is taking place, it is a new moon in Gemini. And what you'd like to do is use the energy of that zodiac placement and work your intention around what that is, okay? On the other side, when you're in a full moon, it's not the same. That means your sign is on the other side of the zodiac wheel. So a little bit later in the month, in 14 days, I believe it's in Capricorn. So that's how you read which sign it's in. We often get comments about that. How do you know what sign it's in? So new moons are in the solar sign that's taking place. Full moons are in the sign opposite on the other side of the wheel. Okay, so let's talk about Gemini energy. So Gemini energy is all about expansion. It is the first of the air signs in our wheel of the year. And usually at this time, we've been doing some Aries work, which is all about working on self and initiating. And then we move to Taurus. This is more about your home. This is about material. It's about like earthing because it's an earth sign. Then we jump to Gemini. Gemini season is time to get a little bit more extroverted. It is time to push out your boundaries just a little bit. It is time to expand what you've been working on and where your energy is at. So Geminis, as you can tell, I'm a Gemini. I never stop talking. It is time to explore a little bit. It is time to have the brain of a Gemini, as they say. If you've ever lived inside the brain of a Gemini, you know that it's never a quiet one. It is never a place where there is just one thing taking place at a time. That doesn't happen for us. So when we're in Gemini season, we want to blow things open a little bit more than we're used to. And especially now that eclipse season is taking place during this right now, there's all kinds of different energies right now. So it is an interesting time. So for Gemini, what we end up doing is we use our herbs and we use our spices tonight that we hold sacred for that sign. And what we're going to do is we take our journals. We always have our intention books here. And what we do is we start by making a gratitude list. We're going to do that tonight. And we just talk about what we're grateful for over the last cycle. And then from there, right on top of our gratitude list, like directly on top of those words, we start writing our intentions. And once we do that, sometimes we create a sigil, sometimes we do all kinds of different things with it. But when we're done and our intentions are set, we're going to use some of these herbs, these oils, these spices, the flowers, whatever we're working with that month, and we destroy the intentions. Okay, we use wax, we use soil from the earth, we do all kinds of stuff, and we actually do that every single month, and we're going to be doing it tonight. So we want to invite all of you to join us for it. I would say that it's usually anywhere from half an hour to an hour, and you can stay as long as you want. Usually at the end of it, we just spend a little bit of time and we talk to some of our viewers out there. So if you are going to be participating tonight, all you're going to need, I wanted to give you guys ahead of time, it's about peppermint. Oh, there we go. Candice, look at that destruction. It's awesome. I love, and it smells probably super good, right? Oh, it smells so good. Yeah, it's basically essential oils from the entire year are in this book. It smells so good. Yeah. So tonight we are going to be working with yarrow, lemongrass, peppermint, basil, orchid, or vervain. So if you guys want to join us for tonight, you just need a tiny bit of any of those, whichever feels in alignment for you. And if you feel called to work with something else, go for it. Totally cool. Anything you'd like to add on the topic of new moon, Candice? What's your relationship like with the new moon?
Um, I appreciate the I appreciate so much the new moon and full moon practices because it's really important for me to take the small steps towards each of the major goals that I've set for myself in a general sense. And it's like it just reminds you that every single thing that you do is building up to something, and it kind of keeps me accountable, but also reminds me that if I didn't get what I wanted this time, there's another chance, there's more work, there's more opportunity, and there's more moments to be aware. And sometimes you feel like you haven't been aware of that, like, oh, I didn't do it, I didn't get to it. And then you sit down and you focus in on all of those goals and you focus in on the things that you did do, and you realize that even though it didn't look the way that you thought it was going to look, the work is still being done when you're taking moments to be living it with intention and being conscious of all of the things that are happening, even if they're not happening the way that you want them to, or the way that you thought that they should, or the way that they feel good. Like maybe it felt like crap for the last cycle from new moon to new moon. Maybe, I don't know, right? But everything is happening for a reason. It's happening for you, not to you. And it's taking that moment, even if that one moment of being fully conscious, to sit for an evening and focus in on that, you realize um like everything is moving, everything is rolling, everything is going, and it all has purpose and meaning to it. So I love new moon. It's a chance to reset. It's a chance to like really set the goals and set the intentions, and be grateful and take a look at where you're going and what you're doing and what you can be doing and what isn't working and what is working, and just really, like, I feel like a little worker bee vibe when I get it going. I'm like, okay, like let's do this, right? So I do really love the new moon. I really do.
Yeah,
It's a good
me
time.
too. I really love doing that work. And if doing moon work is something that's interesting to you, Candice and I did in May, we did a whole thing on moon cycles and how to use them. I just placed a link for one of our most popular moon videos that we did in the chat there. So if it's something that you are into, please check that out. Because now we're entering the waxing phase, which is where we do building and we build our work. So we have 14 days of doing work this month. I'm kind of excited about that. So let's get a little extroverted. Okay, so the other thing that's taking place is we had the eclipse this morning. Oh man, let's talk about eclipses, because a lot of the time when you Google eclipses, what comes up is that they're terrible and not to charge your stuff, like everything's just awful, and which isn't 100% true. Eclipses in ancient times were when the god and the goddess would meet. They're actually very fortuitous times in almost every ancient culture. And for some reason, in our brain, it's become something that's scary, or it's like all you should do is rest during an eclipse, and I'm not sure I'm 100% about that. I think there's a lot more to energy than an eclipse, right? I think when you look at exactly, MJ, it is good energy, it is good vibe, because a lot of the times, again, you Google it and it's like, ooh, don't do stuff. So there's so much more in the sky, there's so much more taking place that has, like, what planets are in the sky at the time. Is it a solar? Is it a lunar? Is it what season are we in? Are we in a waxing phase, a waning phase? When you combine all the different energies, then you get a much more full story of what energetically is happening. And I think if you're in alignment with that energy, then you should use this eclipse energy. I love eclipse energy. So a lot of the time we like to think of it as the phoenix, right? So you get to a place where things are darker and you are looking within yourself, and then you watch the sun or the moon, depending what eclipse it is, emerge. And watching that emergence can be parts of ourselves emerging out of wherever we're sitting in. So if you find yourself sitting in a space right now where the energy feels heavy or dense, or for example, if you feel gaslighted by technology sometimes, you can actually move forward and release into the next cycle.
Yes. I think we all have our goal.
If you weren't here for some of the last new moon cycles, Candice has been talking about how she's working on her relationship with technology. And here we are on a day where she could release some of that stuff.
Here's the update. Let's talk. I made that goal and I did some big steps, right? Steps towards it.
Yeah.
And if the phoenix needs to rise from the ashes, I am about 6 feet under, deep in the ash right now, because every piece of technology, okay, has broken down, just turned off. I don't know why. No reason. I don't even think it knows why. It just was like, let's play a fun game, and blackness. So, and then the kid hasn't gone to school. She can't. I had to tell the school, you know what? If you guys have something that works, send it my way. Otherwise, see you in September, or whenever things start coming back together. I'm done.
We're in homeschool here still in Canada. Yeah, the kids can't even go to school yet. So
yeah,
when your tech breaks down, it means
oh yeah, when the tech breaks down, when your entire work is all online and on phones. And I found myself at one point yesterday surrounded by 5 different forms of tech, and one was working. And I was on the phone with tech support. I probably put maybe like 6 hours worth of trying to fix technology and sort technology out yesterday. It was a lot, and that's why I had to stay up late yesterday trying to regroup internally.
Well, we're gonna smudge that out, and we're just gonna let the phoenix rise. This is it.
I'm waiting for it to all rise. I actually moved some of it. I put it I took it out of my apartment and put it into the storage unit, because I just needed it. I needed it out of my space and smudge. So yeah, if there's a phoenix rise, I'm excited for it. So I'm ready to like just blast through the ash.
Right.
A big, colorful, beautiful, special bird.
Yeah, the specialist bird. It's gonna be like the Kool-Aid man breaking through a wall, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, so hopefully we're going to see a bunch of you tonight for New Moon. That will be awesome. Our guide for today that we chose is the wheel. And we chose the wheel because we're looking at all of the natural cycles that take place here. Okay, gotta love me some Wheel of Fortune, right? It reminds us that everything comes in cycles, and that we are initiating new cycles at all times. Some nice medicine when you look at the wheel is when a new cycle begins. Can you spot it? Can you see the things in your life that are edging you towards a new highest purpose? Right? This is what the wheel reminds us, that things are always going to be happening in cycles all the time. Just look around us. Look at even the eclipse here. Everything, the sun is in cycle, the moon is in cycle, the earth is in cycle, the plants around us, everything. Our human bodies are cyclical. They live in cycles. So by learning to attune to some of these natural cycles, you can actually have a much, much more grounded, healthy, healing, and intentional type of living. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Candice, before we let our viewers go today?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of cycles and thinking of, my own cycle and the goals that I set with tech and my career and where things are. And I know that they have to, again, go down to the ash to then rise, and then it changes, right? And, I also think of the cycles of life and us as humans and our mortality and stuff as well, which sounds kind of dark, but also it's part of life. And before we let everyone go, I just want to ask if everyone who's watching or who watches this to send out some positive vibes. There are 3 people in my life right now who face mortality in their situations, and um, are facing some hard times within their health. And I just am hoping and sending energy, and I hope that you can as well. Just sending it out to them. I'm not going to give too many details because it's, I don't want to break anyone's boundaries or anything. But I am just wanting to say, because I have this platform, and if anyone else wants to send energy out to these 3 people in my life, I hope that you are in a loving space, in a safe space, and you feel the love around you. And I hope you nothing but love and peace in whichever way this wheel turns for you. So yeah, I'm just thinking of them and taking that moment. And again, it goes back to some of the work we've been doing with Reiki. And sometimes we don't even know the other people and what's happening, but if you can just send out healing energy, I hope that it reaches whoever it needs to reach. And I know that I'm sending it out, hoping that it reaches these 3 people in my life. So I'm thinking of you, and I love you. And again, I'm wishing you peace and love.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wishing you peace and love. Remember, we are surrounded by miracles. Magic is always real. It's always
That's right.
All right. Well, we love you all, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have our offering for tomorrow is going to be a sound bath. So all you guys have to do is show up and be relaxed, and I already have the bowls all set up there for tomorrow. So please be sure to check that out. I love me some sound bath. I don't know about you, and feels like it's time for a sound bath. So especially after tonight, we'll set our intentions at the new moon, and then we'll wake up tomorrow, have a sound bath to get ready. So I love it. All right. Mwah. Namaste, Soul Circle.
Love. Bye.